5-1. So there you've got all the numbers. You've heard from the coaches. You've taken a look at the players. And when we return in just a moment here at Cable 3, as we continue the sports special straight ahead from the Playland Ice Casino, let's take a look at the goaltenders now. Be starting in the games for both of these schools. That gentleman right there, he saw the back, now the front. Number 31, Rob Schoenbach. He is a junior. A goals against average of .90, 130 saves. And the man for Rye will be Russell Winfield. He is a freshman, 6.82 goals against. First period underway. Gary Zegras for the Garnets dumps it out. John Orlando, the coach's son, dumps it back in, and Zegras comes up with it. Cross ice it comes. Keith Collins. Or this is Collins, rather, number 4. Pascalis wearing number 11. That one ringed around the boards. There's Bobby Holmes. And a shot slips through the crease. Now he's able to clear, but chased down by Pascalis. A couple of Rye-Neck high school players on this Rye team. Here's Siemens, and his first shot kicked aside by Russell Winfield, and he'll hold on for the save. And we've got our first whistle. 14-15 left to go in the first period, and we have no score. Both teams change up their lines. And they'll be going to the left-hand side of Russell Winfield. Coming into tonight's game, a total of 41 saves. Had a chance to watch Russell play as Rye took care of Mamaroneck in the semifinal round rather handily, 12-1. And as a matter of fact, you'll be able to see highlights of that game coming up in our first intermission. Shot. Winfield able again to hold on. Off a blast from the point. Eric Israel, sophomore winger, let it fly. And again, we will hold up play and go to left side of Winfield. 14-14 left. Ryan Haggerty, number 9, will be going for the Mounties, or for the Garnets, I should say. Gary Zegras comes up ice. Picked up by Kelly in center ice. McCarron can't get a hold of it, and now the Garnets dump it in. Outside's call. Haggerty tried to get it in, and one of the Garnets in ahead of the play. So we'll hold things up again, have another face-off. Clock stopped, 13:56. Kind of like a championship bout in boxing. Both teams a little sluggish here in the early going, trying to feel each other out, which was the case we had in our opening game, and that turned out to be a barn burner. And our referee's going to chase these two players. McCarron dumps it in. Winfield makes the easy stick save, slides it behind the net for Pascalis. To Tommy Holmes. Bangs it off the boards. Intercepted there by Andy Fitzpatrick. Pascalis tries to bring it out and come out to the point. Mike Kelly slides it in front, just up over the net. That one almost tipped in on top. Another centering pass. That's knocked aside. Check gets a rise out of the crowd. Holmes comes up ice. That one knocked away. Number 26, Schelling. Rob Schelling for the Mounties. Dumps it in. No score, 13:05 left first period. George Pascalis behind the net. Gary Zegras comes in to help out. Down on the ice, Kirk Emmons. Keith Collins to Bobby Holmes. Holmes lets it fly. It's knocked down. John Barry stepping in front of the puck. Holmes again comes up with it. Out to Pascalis. Holmes tries to kick it in off his skate. A lot of action right in front of the net between Orlando and Collins. Schelling picks it up. Able to clear the zone. Pascalis dumps it back. And Rice shoves it right back in. Jeff Starpoli comes back to center ice. Holmes to Starpoli. Tries to lead it back for Bobby Holmes. And he'll go into the corner with John Barry. Centering pass. Collins couldn't keep it on his stick. Back to the point. Zegras fires it into the corner. Comes around the boards. Up along the boards. John Barry. Starpoli. Holmes. Drive is wide. Oh, he got all of that one. Schelling. Lead pass. Campanozzi can't hold it on his stick, and it comes back to John Barry. Campanozzi dumps it in. Winfield stops it behind the net. Gary Zegras up off the boards. Jerome Kenny tried to lead for Tommy Holmes. Dump back in. Late offsides call. And that's finally waved off. No icing as it's waved off. Picked up instead by Mike Kelly before it crossed the goal line. McCraren slips away from Zegras. Centering pass, knocked down in front by Pascalis. Tries to lead the breakout. Ryan Haggerty has Kinney on the wing with it. Haggerty ridden off the play nicely by Eric Israel. Puck comes from behind the boards. Holmes can't keep it in. McCraren steals. Gets it back and dumps it in. Rye will now change up on the fly. Under 11 minutes to go. Centering pass. Tommy Holmes is there. Goes back the other way. Eric Greenberg comes out to the point, and Eric Israel can't keep it in. Tommy Holmes racing for it, but getting there in plenty of time, Mike Kelly. Kelly's senior defenseman. Goes back the other way. McCraren, or Eric Greenberg rather, number 11. To center ice. Collins waits for Holmes to get onside, dumps it in. Greenberg tried to leave it out in front, but it's again picked off. Holmes. Centering pass, McCraren intercepts. Greenberg again. Center ice. Crosses the blue line, is onside. Dumps it for Andy Fitzpatrick. Slips away from a check. Centering pass, and Winfield falls on it and will cover up for the faceoff. 10:05 left to go. First period, and we still have no score.
7th Street.
Now, team's starting to warm up a little bit, though Rye seems to have the best of it here in the early going. As we mentioned in our pregame show, the Mounties own 3 consecutive victories over Rye during the regular season, twice during Division A play, and once in a holiday tournament that Suffern holds over at the Lotar Ice Center in Rockland County. Our 2 player spotlights, Emons and Holmes centering it, and Rye can't control the faceoff. Emons up off the boards, comes to Campanozzi. Emons dumps it back into the corner. Gary Zegras chasing it down, right on him, Rob Schelling. They both go down, and Bobby Holmes up with it. Off of the pads, Emons centering pass, and right in front was Schelling, and he couldn't get a stick on it. Had a wide open net. Winfield way out of position. Emons again, good save. Winfield, rebound, is knocked down, and Bobby Holmes comes out with it. Winfield equal to the task there. Holmes goes down, no whistle. John Barry picks Holmes' pocket. Schelling comes up ice, kept in play by Starpoli, but nope, he's offside. And Starpoli and Orlando do a little shoving in the corner. And that will stop play with 9:17 left to go in period number 1. No score in the Division A championship. Rye and Suffern. Shots on goal in the first period. Suffern leading 5-0. Though, as we mentioned, Rye has had the puck for the most part in this first period in the Suffern end. They just haven't had any shots go right to goaltender Schoenbach. They set the players for the faceoff. Puck is dropped. And Kinney dumps it into the zone. Schoenbach stops it behind the net. Kevin McCraren chases it down. Now comes to Andy Fitzpatrick. He loses it. Eric Israel tries to center. Tommy Holmes up with it. Tried to get it to Ryan Haggerty, but it's sticked aside. Now Eric Greenberg to center ice. That's dumped in. Icing is waved off. Up along the boards. Greenberg is there. Loses the puck. Now Kelly goes after it. Kenny rides him into the boards. Another big hit. Oh, there are players all over the place, and most of them are wearing white jerseys. Andy Fitzpatrick centers. Kicked aside. Haggerty gets it on his stick. Able to control. Circles behind his own net. Plays it off the boards. Haggerty leaves it off. Nobody there except McCraren. And he'll give it to Fitzpatrick. He'll play it off the boards. And Zegras fires it right back in, and that's an offsides call as Haggerty in ahead of the play. So we'll stop action again. 8:07 left to go in a scoreless first period. Rye and Suffern. I'm John Carrillo along with the Cable 3 Sports team on this Cable 3 Sports Special, the Section 1 Ice Hockey Championships. This Division A final, the Suffern Mounties and the Rye Garnets. Holmes wins the draw, but taken out of the play, and Emons comes up with it. Nice play by Piscalis. Off the boards to Bobby Holmes. Lost it off a stick. Able to get it to Starpoli. Looks to feed it back to Holmes, but he's ridden out of the play. And it will come up now to Doug Campanozzi. Emmons, lead pass for Schelling. Behind the Rye net. Gary Zegras dumps in. Holmes, rink-wide pass to Collins. With a burst of speed, Orlando on him. Orlando takes him down. We're going to have our first penalty of the day. And it will be John Orlando. Minute and a half for a trip.
Two white, minor on a rough.
A roughing call. The penalty, there you see it again. Actually, now that was called there. The referee had the tripping call. We may get two penalties here.
Got a minor for a trip also.
There you have it.
Minor then. Huh? A double minor then.
The tripping penalty was called first by the trail official, and then after Holmes got up, the penalty for roughing was called. So this is going to be a double minor. 3 minutes worth of penalties against the Suffern Mounties. And Rye with a golden opportunity here. 7:26 to go in this scoreless first period. And Rye will have the man advantage for the next 3 minutes. And John Orlando, double minor penalty. One for roughing, one for tripping. And the Mounties win the draw. Ryan Haggerty able to keep it in the zone. Tommy Holmes will chase it down in the corner. Holmes centers, but gives it right to Rob Schelling. Schelling now content to kill some time. Brings it into the Rye zone. Centering pass, Tommy Holmes intercepts. Lead pass for Keith Collins. Drop pass, Zegras lets it go. Bobby Holmes tries to play it off the boards. And Collins comes out with it. To Tommy Holmes. Centers, Collins couldn't keep it on his stick. 2:11 left in the penalty. Zegras. Circles behind the net. Ridden off the play nicely. John Barry doing some good forechecking and able to tie Zegras up along the boards. Will have a face-off to the right-hand side of Rob Schoenbach, junior goaltender for John Orlando Suffern Mounties. Jeff Starpoli will now come into the Rye lineup, and he's going to replace Tommy Holmes. You see number 17. It'll be Zegras and Fitzpatrick. And the official not happy with the way they set up shop, so they'll chase them out and bring in two others. Zegras leaves it for Collins. In front. Holmes couldn't get a stick on it. Or rather, that Jeff Starpoli sitting in the slot. This is Bobby Holmes. Chases it down behind his own net. 1:42 left in the double minor penalty to John Orlando. Keith Collins leaves it for Zegras. He lost the puck, and the Mounties able to clear the zone. Winfield plays it off the boards, comes right out in front. Ryan Haggerty. Collins tried to drop pass to Holmes, intercepted by Fitzpatrick. Good stick checking, stick handling, and Ryan Haggerty now for the Garnets. And that one poked away. Rob Schilling. Zegras. Holmes gets it in his skates, now on his stick, flies, and it's off of the old scoreboard and out of play. 5:25 left now. First period, still no score in this A Division championship. The winner will go to the State Division I tournament, the loser in the State's Division II playoffs. Piscalis at the point, dumps it in behind the net. And Rob Schoenbach has to come out. Makes the save. You may have noticed not a whole lot of love lost between these two clubs. These are the two best that Westchester and Rockland County can offer. Really a true championship in the sense of the word. You've got these two teams who play each other during the regular season. As Suffern again able to clear the puck. Mounties doing a nice job killing off this penalty. Double minor now has 40 seconds left to go. But you have the Westchester champion and the North and the Rockland County champion. Always makes for interesting discussions. Tonight, we're going to decide it on the ice. Collins puts on the brakes, comes back out of the point, but it's intercepted, and the Mounties again clear the zone. Power play now with 19 seconds left. Doug Campanazzi loses the puck. Jeff Starpoli for the Garnets. Trial have to hurry to get one more rush. Starpoli loses his edge, now dumps it back, nobody there, and the Mounties have succeeded in killing off the double minor. All teams are at equal strength. Keith Emmons, up ice he comes. Campanazzi crosses the blue line on sides. Good stick work there by Piscalis. Takes it right away. Bobby Holmes. Holmes tries to cut it in front. It's taken out of the play. John Chapman does the honors. Now up ice they come. Eric Greenberg lets it fly. That one wide of Winfield. McCraren chases the puck down. Tries to center. Starpoli knocks it away. Zegras takes McCraren into the boards. And they'll go at it again. Bobby Holmes now gets involved. And we're going to have a penalty coming up here against Rye. The Mounties with the puck. And finally, George Piscalis gets a hand on it. And now the Mounties will have their first power play of the night.
5 red on the hold.
It'll be Gary Zegras, number 25. Minute and a half penalty for holding. So we saw how Suffern was able to kill off a 3-minute penalty. We'll see if Rye is able to kill off a minute and a half holding call against Gary Zegras. And Rye immediately able to send it the length of the ice. George Piscalis clears it. Schoenbach comes out. Flag it down. John Orlando for the Suffern Mounties. Campanazzi. Center ice. Across the blue line. Still has the puck. Gets it in front and scores! Well, that's pretty good stick work. Watch the way this just kind of splits the defense there. Two great moves, got Winfield to go in one direction. And the Mounties, with the power play goal, take the early lead 1-0. Campanazzi with his 20th goal of the season. come again. This time Winfield able to hold on. Eric Greenberg almost had a opening down the middle, but lost his edge and couldn't control the puck, and Winfield just had to wait for it to come to him. So with the face-off upcoming, the Mounties will change up their line. Clock is stopped now with 3:05 left. Of course, that a power play goal, and that will bring the Rye player back out on the bench. Actually, what I should say, the Garnets are able to put another skater on, but the player called for the penalty has to remain off the ice for 1.5 minutes. And Winfield again, right in front of the crease, has to hold on. Suffern doing a nice job on these face-offs, winning them and proceeding to push all the action right in towards the goal. You're going to get a lot of rebounds and second chances at putting that puck in. It's Eamons and Holmes. And again, the Mounties win the draw. Drive is in! A screen shot. Winfield hollering that he couldn't see it. John Barry from the point gives Suffern a 2-0 lead. And
26.
that is the first goal of the season for the sophomore defenseman. Right through the legs of number 8, Nick Adams, who was screening Winfield. He never saw it. There's the first scoring for the Mounties. Campronazzi from Fitzpatrick and Schoenbach, the goaltender. The second time in 2 games we've had a goalie pick up an assist. And Rye now down 2-0 with 2:45 to go in the first period. Schelling retrieves it, centers, picked off by Bobby Holmes. Holmes leading the charge. It's a 3-on-3. Tries to slip around a check from Orlando. Able to get it. Centers it for Starpoli. It's knocked aside. Now Rob Schilling. Cross center ice. Nick Adams tries to ride him off. Gets him off of the puck, and George Pascalis able to pick it up. Center ice. Dump back in. Adams tries to play it off the boards. Comes to Schelling instead. Leaves it off. Emmons knocked down by Collins. And Ryan Haggerty up with it. Plays it behind the boards. Holmes clears the zone. Not a whole lot of offense. There's a drive that's clubbed by Winfield, and he'll hold on. John Barry with a pretty good slap shot. He scored once and made Winfield go after that one. Second scoring for Suffern. Number 14, John Barry. His first goal of the year, the assist to Rob Schelling. .148 left to play in the first period. Suffern leading 2-0. McCraren leaves it up. Andy Fitzpatrick to the backhand, intercepted by Gary Zegras. Mounties controlling the action. Again, dump it back in. Comes out to the point. Kelly can't control. McCraren. This time it's taken by Andy Levine. Now Ryan Haggerty for the Garnets. Drives one, and that hits a Suffern stick. Goes up over the glass and out of play. And the stick's raised. And we're going to send a couple of players out of here. We'll have to see if it was of a major nature. Now they're going to send them both off for roughing calls rather than the more serious fighting penalties. They continue the discussion right down below us, as you can see. Now the call being explained to John Orlando.
initial call, each team going to be assessed a minute and a half for roughing.
First guy.
Here comes the call.
22 red.
So you each got 1 each. Is that the way it's going to be?
Okay. 22 red's got a double minor.
Now they're going to send Jerome Kenny off for 3 minutes.
Okay. 22 red first got a charge. Then he's got a rough. So he's got 4 minutes. 9 red has that single that he just called. The 29 white has a minor for an elbow. Okay, so 9 and 16, 9 red and 16 white are coincidental minors, and then 22 red and 29 white. Correct.
So we've got a total of 3 players in the penalty box. A double minor for Rye. He'll be gone for 3 minutes. And then you have coincidental minors for each club. And if it all works out, which it will, that means that the Mounties will end up with a power play. 3 minutes total penalties for Suffern, but 4.5 minutes for Rye. So out on the ice now, we will have 3 against 3 for a minute and a half, and then the Mounties will go on a power play for another minute and a half, and they will skate 5 against 4. But we have a minute 5 left in the period, so this will all carry over into the second period. And it's going to make those chats in the locker room very interesting. The Garnets will go with 3 pretty good skaters out there. Gary Zegras, Bobby Holmes, and Keith Collins. While the Mounties will counter with their great triumvirate as well. Keith Evans, Paul Cerbona, a freshman forward, and John Orlando. And it's Orlando who controls the puck off the faceoff. This is going to be very wide open. A lot of ice for these guys to work with. 3 on 3. Tough to play defense as well. Barry, drive is wide. Keith Emmons dumps it back in. 45 seconds left in the period. Zegras comes up to Holmes. Has Collins with him. And Holmes drives it. He beat the goaltender, but shot it wide. Holmes tries to get it back. And now Keith Emmons with Orlando. Offsides. Orlando drawn off, just a 1D too many by Keith Emmons. And that pulled Orlando off and stops the clock now with 25 seconds left to go in this first period. Suffern leading 2-0. We have 46 seconds left on the 3 minor penalties and 2:15 left in the double minor. Now Andy Fitzpatrick comes in for the Mounties, ridden off the play by Zegras. Bobby Holmes. Bad pass. Fitzpatrick drives one wide. Holmes a little lackadaisical with that puck. Gave it right to Fitzpatrick. Tommy Holmes tries to break through the defense. Orlando takes a check, but Holmes gets the worst of it. And there's the whistle, and that ends period number 1. So Rye is going to be in a bad situation when the second period starts. 21 seconds after that, they will be down a man, as the Mounties will go in with the power play. So that's going to do it for period number 1. The Suffern Mounties leading the Rye Garnets by a score of 2-0. When we return to the Playland Ice Casino, we'll have for you a look at the shots on goal after period number 1 in favor of the Mounties. And that's a big story right there. Early on in that first period, Rye was pressing the action, but all of their shots were missing the goal. And then later on, Suffern had all of it in the Rye end. And they're up 9-1 in shots on goal. Now, let's again set the scene for you. There are 21 seconds left on 3 minor penalties. 2 for Suffern, 1 for Rye. And there is 1:50 left in the other Rye penalty. So in now 15 seconds, the Mounties will have a power play. They'll be skating 5 against 4. Right now it's 3 against 3 for another 8 seconds. This is Bobby Holmes. Fakes the slap shot, now tries to drive it in, shoots, good save. And now the penalties are over. So now the Mounties with 5 skaters on, the Garnets with 4, and we have a 2-line offsides pass, and that will stop the clock with just 30 seconds gone by here in this second period. And the face-off will come back into the Suffern end. That pass across the blue line and the center red line. And same as we mentioned earlier, the puck is not the first object across the blue line with the attacking team. That is an offsides call as well. Emmons and Holmes at the draw, and finally controlled by the Mounties. Orlando. Collins coming up with a steal, and he'll send it back to Gary Zegras. 1:05 left in the Rye penalty. Off the boards, Bobby Holmes will come up with it. Collins is in front. Collins has it, shoots and scores! Bit of a defensive lap there for the Mounties. Not covering up on the puck as they had been doing so well in that first period. And that is a lethal combination that Rye has. Bobby Holmes and Keith Collins. And Holmes.
12 and 25. On that second Suffern goal, give an assist to number 20.
You see a quick change on the second Suffern goal, but getting back to that last one, Holmes with a burst of speed up along the boards. Collins knew he was going with it all the way. And Collins just made a beeline for the net. Holmes got it to him. And Keith with the tap in, and Rye right back in this one. And that, incidentally, a short-handed goal for the Garnets. Remember, the Mounties still with the power play, and Holmes clears it down the ice. 2-1 now the score with 13:45 left, second period. Keith Emmons up to John Orlando. Campanazzi spins behind into center ice, chased by Holmes. Winfield lets it play off the net. Fitzpatrick back there along with Schelling. Now Fitzpatrick up with it. Comes way out to the point. Orlando cross ice. Emmons dumps it back in. 10 seconds left in the Suffern power play. Fitzpatrick behind the net. Centering pass, and Campanazzi can't hold on. Rye penalty is over. Both teams at equal strength. Fitzpatrick leaves it off. Rob Schelling. Schelling comes out to the point. Orlando lets it fly. Winfield with the save. Follow-up by Fitzpatrick is blocked. And now Holmes steals. Trying to rush up ice. 3-on-3. Holmes gets it across on sides and then has it stolen by Emmons. Ryan Haggerty can't get it on a stick. And now Fitzpatrick, a 2-on-1. Rye hustling back, offsides. Campanazzi in ahead of the play. Stops the clock now with 12:35 left. Here's the scoring on the last Rye goal. Keith Collins from Bobby Holmes and Gary Zegras. For Collins, his 20th goal this season for Rye, the senior right winger. Fitzpatrick against Tommy Holmes. Kelly dumps it in. Rye fans applauding the hit put on by Jerome Kinney. Here comes Eric Greenberg. Tries to go around. Centering pass intercepted. Fitzpatrick gets it on his skate. Goes to the backhand. In front, Zegras gets his stick on it. And Jerome Kinney. Lead pass for Jeff Starpoli, bounces off his skate. intercepted by Eric Israel. And it comes back into the Rye zone. Zegras, center ice. Starpoli can't get a handle. Now Tommy Holmes does. And Holmes makes a riveting check from Israel. Holmes just a freshman. Back to center ice. Zegras. Delayed offsides call. Greenberg brings it out. It's waved off. Rye looks a lot better here in the second period, really starting to press the action as the Mounties change up. Demons makes the steal, dumps it right back in. Zegras up around the boards to Ryan Haggerty. Haggerty leaves it to Scalise. Check from behind by Schilling. And Pascalis goes down. It comes right back up with the puck. Rink wide. Ryan Haggerty. Drop pass. Good one. Holmes shoots. And it's saved and knocked away by Orlando. And that will be a hand pass by John Orlando. But that one had goal written over it. Rob Schoenbach made the save, but couldn't control the rebound. It popped up, and before it was able to drop in, Keith Emmons grabbed it with his hand and popped it over the net, and then another Mountie picked it up, so the hand pass. John Zegras looking on. Here it is again. Great pass. Collins with a fake, and there you see it right off the top and almost dumping in. Emmons tried a little lead pass. Schilling able to come up with it, still in the Mounties' end. And now Campanazzi. Centering pass picked off by Bobby Holmes. Holmes in front, just a little too far for Ryan Haggerty. Collins tries to keep it in, but it comes out to center ice past Gary Zegras. No icing. Winfield slows it down. Zegras off the boards to Haggerty. 2-1 to score. 10.5 to go, second period. Zegras, center ice. Sticked away. Emmons. He'll get it back. Dumps it into the corner. Rob Schilling. And that's shot by Emmons. High up off the glass. Big hit there. Put on Ryan Haggerty by Campanazzi. And Barry dumps it back in. Andy Levine brings it around the boards. Comes out of the zone. Holmes. Gets it up to Haggerty. Leaves it for Holmes. Shoots on a screen and it's kicked aside. One of the Suffern defensemen getting in the way of that. Here comes Fitzpatrick. Slides away from a check from Devine, and now he goes down. Keith Collins takes it out of the play. And Collins comes back with a puck. Up to Tommy Holmes. Looking for Barry. Barry lays the wood on him. Starpoli goes down, no call. Campanazzi. Crosses the blue line. Comes in the middle. Good stick check by Gary Zegras. And Tommy Holmes clears the zone. 9:15 to go, second period. Rye with a goal here in the second stanza. They now trail Suffern 2-1. Tommy Holmes. Lead pass, Starpoli. Crosses the blue line. Ridden off the play by Orlando. Puck goes into the corner. Eric Israel riding Starpoli along the way. Holmes comes up with it, looks to center, goes off the back of the net, and Orlando lands him to the ice. Up ice, Andy Fitzpatrick. Tries to play it off the board. Zegras plays him, takes him out. Up it comes. Finally controlled by McCarron. He'll dump it in. George Pascalis chases it down. Comes up ice. Starpoli. He has it taken off of his stick by Kelly. And the hitting really fierce now. Zegras shoots, knocked down in front. We've got a penalty upcoming, and it's going to go against the Mounties. A holding call. So Rye will go back on the power play. It'll be Eric Israel.
2-9 white, minor, hold.
Eric Israel, sophomore winger, goes into the box. Minute and a half for a holding call. And Ryu has a shorthanded goal in this game already. Now we'll go on the power play for a minute and a half. Garnets will go with Zegras, Collins, Holmes, and Haggerty. Kind of like a law firm. Bobby Holmes keeps it in, gets it over to Tommy Holmes. Back to Holmes. Lets it fly, knocked down by Emmons right in front, stood his ground. Ryan Haggerty, he'll let it fly. Zegras tried for the tip in, and it's held on for the save. Rob Schoenbach. Boy, Gary Zegras sitting right on the doorstep. Had an opportunity to try to knock that one in. But Schoenbach, who had a goals against average coming into tonight's game at .90. And here's the blast. And there you see, he struggled in front of the net. Holmes at the point. Good lead pass. Tommy Holmes scores! There it is. Holmes, who looked like he was going to let it fly, instead a simply marvelous pass in front to Tommy Holmes, his brother. And we are tied at 2 apiece. Here comes Holmes again, this time to Haggerty. Comes out in front, and it's loose again. Mounties try to clear, they can't. Keith Emmons loses it. Bobby Holmes, shot, glove save. Haggerty in the corner. John Barry there, kicks it aside. He's willing to stay there for the face-off, and he will get it. But there you get a perfect example on why Bobby Holmes, who, as we mentioned earlier, is the United States scoring leader in high school hockey with over 400 points. But the interesting stat is that his goals and assists are split pretty much down the middle. 200 goals and 203 assists, and you saw a beauty there. Everybody's so worried about the shooting of Bobby Holmes, and they all moved away when it looked like he was ready to crank it out. But instead just dumped a beautiful pass in front, and Tommy Holmes, all he had to do was knock it in the back of the net. All tied up now at 2 apiece. Andy Fitzpatrick. He centers it. George Piscalis knocks that one away. Into the corner they go. Puck comes out. Bobby Holmes. Jerome Kenny is with it. Holmes tries to center. Kelly rather knocks it away. And it comes back out to center ice. Gary Zegras right back in. Wright definitely having the better of it in this period. So the Garnets with a shorthanded goal and a power play goal. After trailing 2-0, after 1, they have tied this one up at 2. 6.5 left, second period. Andy Fitzpatrick tries to put a move on, is taken out of the play, and Russell Winfield makes the save. Takes a late hit from Fitzpatrick, but tempers subside. They send everybody back to the bench, and we'll have another face-off. 6:22 left to go. 2-2 the score. Shots on goal to this point. Rye having the better of it now. 5-2. Bobby Holmes and Keith Emmons set to square off. To the right side of Russell Winfield. Winfield, the second freshman goalie we've seen tonight. Ryan Haggerty breaks it out. Tries to give it up to Collins. Collins gets a stick on it. Now Bobby Holmes back up with it. Out in front. Tried to get it on his forehand. Still loose. Good save there. Didn't even know if Schoenbach was able to see that one. Collins out to the point. Piscalis. Mounty's able to clear. Rob Shelley cuts in the middle. Lets it fly. It's in.
And 15 and 14.
Rob Schelling, his 22nd goal of the season. And what a great wrist shot this is. Here it comes again. He just lets this one fly. And he beats Winfield on the stick side. And just like that, the Mounties have regained the lead. It's now 3-2 with 5:51 remaining to play. George Piscalis gets it into the Suffern end. Israel chases it down behind his own net, plays it off the boards. Kevin McCarron. Jerome Kenny tries to hound him, but instead Andy Fitzpatrick breaks it out. Eric Greenberg, puck loose in front, and Winfield makes the save, and then he gets involved in it, and now they're all going to go. It is the goaltender's right. When he is in that crease, he is not fair game for anybody. And what usually happens after he makes a save, especially when the player is cruising right in on net, he'll try to swipe at it with his stick.
25 red, 10 white, both minors on the rough.
As you heard, we'll get coincidental minors. Minute and a half for roughing each. McCarron and Zegras will go. But as I was saying, when that goalie is in the crease, he cannot be touched. And what will happen, a player will try to swipe at the glove where usually the puck is resting and try to knock it out. And as you might imagine, goaltenders just don't take too kindly to that. And every player on that ice is going to protect his goaltender. So coincidental minors for both schools. And for the next minute and a half, we'll be skating 4-on-4. 5:20 left to go, second period. Good game. Division A championship. Suffern leading Rye 3-2. Bobby Holmes comes up ice. Keith Collins. Collins crossed the blue line. Tried to dump it back to Holmes, but he was tied up nicely by Keith Emmons. Emmons with the puck comes to center ice. Schelling. Piscalis does a nice job riding him off the puck. Cross ice, Keith Collins. Lets one rip. Off of the stick. The waffle board, if you will. The pad that the goalies hold their sticks on. Emmons to center ice. The 2-on-3, able to get it through the defense. And Winfield again will hold on. And as you see, Schelling coming in, trying to knock that puck away after Winfield made the save. And again, tempers starting to flare. Keith Collins now telling Emmons he's not happy with the way they're treating their freshman goaltender. No penalties will be assessed, and the clock is stopped now with 4:35 left. Coming up in between periods 2 and 3, we're going to be speaking with Jeff Hanley of the Westchester Rockland newspapers, a gentleman who follows the Westchester Rockland Interscholastic Ice Hockey League scene game after game. We're going to get his impressions and some comments coming up in between periods 2 and 3. Ryan Haggerty. Wrist shot. He got it. Oh, what a great shot. Upper right-hand corner. Again from almost an impossible angle right up over the glove of Schoenbach, hit the upper corner, and Haggerty's goal has tied this game up at 3. That's R. Haggerty, Ryan Haggerty, from Bobby Holmes and Keith Collins. Coincidental minors still have 24 seconds to run, so we'll still skate 4 aside. 4:16 left, second period. little delay as they try to get the fans off of the glass. On the far side, overflow crowd again. Campanazzi with a drive. That's high up off the glass and out of play. Oh, that'll stop the clock with 4:13 left. Oh, we have a minute in case this game goes down to the wire and we forget. A couple of things we like to pass along. First of all, our best wishes to Al Cross, who is usually at every single hockey game here at Playland. Al, a little bit under the weather. Sitting at home watching this one, and we hope, Al, you're feeling a lot better. We'll be back out here real soon. Barry dumps it back in. That's a delayed offsides call, but the Mounties clear the zone, so it's waved off. Holmes comes across ice. Pete Collins to Ryan Haggerty. Both penalties are over. Teams at full strength. Collins couldn't get it on his stick. Tried a weak backhand. Bobby Holmes levels Andy Fitzpatrick. We come back the other way. Kevin McCarron and Winfield with a great save. Though I think that one may have gone over the net. It looks spectacular enough anyway. Watch this one here. This one all for effect. McCarron, the last one. That one maybe a little bit outside of the net, but Winfield with a great stop nonetheless. 3:36 to go, all tied at 3 apiece. Starpoli and Fitzpatrick. Won by the Mounties. Drive, Winfield kicks it aside. Good slap shot by Mike Kelly. Gary Zegras in the corner, kicks it out. Comes to Jerome Kenny, leaves it for Tommy Holmes. Holmes will dump it in. Icing is waved off as the goaltender Schoenbach has to play it. Starpoli tries to ride Tommy Holmes with a check, and the puck comes out of the zone. Starpoli will dump it right back in. Garnets will clear the zone. Icing is, or the offsides has not been waved off. The Garnets, not all of them were able to get across the blue line, so the offsides call. And we'll have a face-off just outside of the blue line with exactly 3 minutes left to play. Here in the second period of the Division A championship, Rye and Suffern tied at 3 apiece. Zegras comes up to Holmes, and he dumps it in right on net. Lead pass intercepted by George Pascalis. Pascalis, very fine football player for the Rhinebeck Panthers. In a tough season this year, went down with a broken ankle. Couldn't play the rest of the year. Tommy Holmes with a shot. Good save. Schoenbach didn't see it till the last second, and he holds on for the faceoff. Also, while we have this opportunity, a special thank you to Stefan Vallis, the league statistician for the Westchester Rockland Interscholastic Ice Hockey League. He just loaded me down with numbers and stats, a whole book's worth. And my deepest thanks and appreciation to Stefan Vallis. Does a great job keeping tabs on all the numbers in the league year after year. Bobby Holmes gets it at center ice, dumps it for nobody in particular. Campanazzi picks it up. He lets one fly. That's off of the glass. Up on the shelf, comes down to Keith Collins. Comes up with it at center ice. Bobby Holmes gets it on his stick. Puts on the brakes. Good lead pass. Haggerty backhand. Save. Schoenbach and a beauty. And again, the sticks go up. This time it's Keith Collins and Rob Schelling. Referee's doing a pretty nice job getting those players out of compromising positions, if you will, as quickly as possible. And as you can see the intensity with which these two teams have been playing, this one could get out of hand very easily and very quickly. So Holmes and Emmons. Haggerty tries to whirl and fire, couldn't get a shot away. Holmes will pick it up back behind the net. His centering pass is knocked aside. And this one will come out to John Barry. Takes a big hit from Ryan Haggerty. Campanazzi gets a handle. Emmons. Lead pass, Schelling. Dumps it into the corner. Minute 35 left in the second period. Winfield couldn't decide whether he wanted to hold on or not. Orlando to Barry, lets it rip. Knocked down before it got to Winfield. Zegras plays it up the boards. Barry dumps it right back in. Late offsides call. Piscalis off the boards, comes out, it's waved off. Mounties trapped in the zone. Now they come out, and Emmons fires it right back in. 1:05 left to go in the second period. Tied up at 3. Schilling around the boards. Campanazzi comes out to the point. Orlando misfires. Lead pass Keith Collins. It's a 2-on-1. Collins with Haggerty. Collins stride. He hit the post. Comes out to Holmes. He misfires. Collins tries to get it back. Piscalis can't keep it in. Campanazzi the other way with 35 seconds left. His wrist shot. He misfires. And Winfield makes the easy save. That one hits the post. Schelling with a blast. 25 seconds left in the period. Emmons drives it back in. Haggerty chases it down. Takes a heavy hit from Campanazzi. Lead pass for Bobby Holmes. 2-on-2. Holmes tries to go around Barry. He does a good job knocking him into the boards. Tommy Holmes comes up with it. Be content to take a face-off here if they can get the whistle. And they will. Stop play with just 2 seconds left to go in the period. And John Zegras is going to pull Russell Winfield out of the net, since the face-off will be in the Suffern end.
Take the face-off. Ryan, Tommy.
And Zegras, Coach Zegras will go with the extra skater. No, he won't. He's going to put Winfield back in the net. So Rye will have to win the draw, get it right out, and try to score before the period's over. A lot of jockeying for position in front of the net. Won by the Mounties, and that will do it for the second period. A very entertaining 15 minutes of action, and when we go to the third period, it'll be just like we started, all tied up. This time, rather than 0-0, the third period will begin with Rye and Suffern tied up at 3 apiece. In just a moment after this short break, and in this game tied up at 3-3, as we welcome you once again to the Playland Ice Casino in period number 3, Rye and Suffern, and the Mounties will go on the power play. Let's quickly take a look at the shots on goal after the second period of play. All right, we'll get to that in just a moment. There you have it, 11-7 Rye in the second. Suffern leading total 16-12 after 30 minutes of action. And with this game tied up at 3 apiece, we again remind you there is sudden death in this Section 1 championship. But right now, the Garnets are going to have to try to kill off this penalty. It's Keith Emmons for the Mounties. Comes up ice, Campanazzi. Taken out by Bobby Holmes. He sends it right back in. Rob Schoenbach, junior goaltender, almost made a bad play, but it's picked up by John Orlando. Campanazzi now at center ice. He'll dump it into the Rye end. Bobby Holmes chasing it behind his own net. Whips it around the boards, kept in by Emmons. Up the boards, Andy Devine. Or Fitzpatrick, pardon me. Schelling, back to the point. Emmons, cross ice. Orlando can't keep it in. Has to come back out. Holmes to center ice. And it is Fitzpatrick. Orlando. And Keith Collins. He'll send it all the way down. Schoenbach clears it up to center ice. 18 seconds left in the Mounties power play. They have not had a shot on goal yet. Schilling to the middle. Now comes to the left side. Looks to work behind the net. Centering pass. Campanazzi gets it on his stick. But Tommy Holmes right there, shuffling enough to distract him. And the puck comes out to center ice. Penalty is over. Teams at full strength. Campanazzi and Holmes tied up at center ice. Now Bobby Holmes. And it will be George Piscalis. He'll dump it in. The Garnets will change up on the fly. Back to center ice. Schilling. Misfires on the slap shot. Gary Zegras behind his own net. Plays it up the boards. Jeff Starpoli. Tucked back in. And now Piscalis will work it out. He'll let one rip. Off of the board by Schoenbach, the waffle board. Jerome Kenny centers it, intercepted. Eric Greenberg, ridden off the play by Starpoli. Piscalis, up to Holmes. Jerome Kenny dives on the ice, tries to get a handle, but instead McCraren dumps it back in. And Gary Zegras, tied up with one of the officials, gets it back out to center ice. And this time it's intercepted by Greenberg. Across the blue line, leaves it off. Fitzpatrick, knocked down. Gary Zegras comes back out to center ice. Eric Israel dumps it right back in the other way. McCraren in the corner, stolen by Piscalis. Plays it off the boards, and the puck dumped into center ice again. By doing a nice job back checking, but having a little trouble getting offense on track. Didn't help open up that second or the third period with the penalty. Now they'll try to get the offense back on track. Piscalis, lead pass, a little too far. No icing. Tracked down by Kelly, just tripped all by himself. Bobby Holmes comes up with it to Haggerty. Shot, just kicked out. Good save by Schoenbach. This one ripped off the boards. Gary Zegras dumps it right back in. Plays to center ice. George Piscalis. Off the boards, Bobby Holmes. Holmes fakes the slap shot, tries to go around, and he is taken down by Mike Kelly. No whistle. Piscalis. Intercepted by Rob Schilling. And he'll dump it all the way back in. That'll be an icing call. And we'll stop play with 10:51 left to go in the third period. 3-3 the score. We've had 6 different players score goals in tonight's game. For the Suffern Mounties, John Barry, Doug Campanazzi, and Rob Schilling. And for the Garnets, Keith Collins, Ryan Haggerty, and Tommy Holmes. So each team will bring new lines out onto the ice. Just been a great night of high school hockey here at Playland. We had a terrific opener in the B Open Championship. Jerome Kenny with a blast that goes wide. And this one is leading up to its billing. Nick Adams with a shot, gloved by Schoenberg. He'll hold on for the faceoff. The weather, I guess, held the crowd down a little bit. We had anticipated a full house for both games, but driving on the roads earlier today, just not a good night to be out. Kenny tried a wrist shot. So it turns out to be rather fortunate that the Cable 3 sports team is up here at Playland tonight. You'll have a chance to enjoy some great hockey as we have all evening long. Playing around now in center ice, Gary Zegras will get it in his own end. 10:20 left to go in the third period. The winner of this game moves on to the New York State Division I Championship tournament. They'll have to play a couple of games before they'll get into the finals. Big checks all around. Both teams really good skaters and know what to do with the puck and how to play the body as well. This one lifted up high into the right end. The Mounties and the Garnets will both change their lines now. Zegras up ice, Keith Collins comes across the blue line, drop pass for Holmes. Leads pass in front for Collins, and that's smothered by Rob Schoenbach. And that will stop the clock with 9:45 to go. 3-3, Ryan Suffern. Getting towards crunch time. Looking down along the benches, John Zegras and John Orlando, the two head coaches, seem to be in full control. Bobby Holmes' drive just goes wide. Schilling up with it for the Mounties. Good play by Emmons, getting the puck off of his skate, and he'll dump it in behind the Ryan net. Muscalis plays it off the boards. Bobby Holmes is there. Comes up to Ryan Haggerty. Comes rink wide. Good pass to Keith Collins. Collins can motor. Spins. Shot blocked by Barry. Holmes picks it up. He'll let it fly. Save. Puck up in the air. And Schoenbach able to hold on. Actually, he didn't, but the referees lost sight of it. And it did eventually come bouncing out. But a mass of humanity in front of Rob Schoenbach, who made another big save. Take a look here. Puck will bounce right up there, and the Garnet's Ryan Haggerty, I believe now as the faceoff comes out side of the blue line, I believe the officials called a high stick, and I think you saw it there when Ryan Haggerty tried to knock that puck in when it was up in the air. And even though Schoenbach made the save, because of the high stick, the faceoff will come outside of the blue line. Here's John Zegras, the most successful head coach for the Rye Garnets, just trying to stretch a little bit, work out those kinks. He's been sitting down there a long time, agonizing over every shot. 9:05 to go. Third period tied up at 3 apiece. McCraren. Nice little dump pass, but Fitzpatrick couldn't hold on to it, and instead Gary Zegras dumps it into the Suffern bench, and we'll have another face-off. This one will come from right where Zegras let the shot go. That's why sometimes you see face-offs in some of the strangest places around the ice. Kelly lifts it up. Drive by Jerome Kenny, and that one sticked aside by Schoenbach. Comes out of the zone. Muscalis plays it off the boards. Kenny tries to leave it, but instead picked up by Fitzpatrick. Or pardon me, that's number 11, Eric Greenberg. Around the boards. Kenny lays it out in front. McCraren. One good move, but Tommy Holmes slithers right in there to steal the puck away. And the Mounties trying to mount their offense. 8:10 remaining in this third period. Big heavy check there put on by Fitzpatrick against